Today we're talking motors, and we have a motor out of a Chevrolet on a pretty large project. And Lori's here to explain what she doesn't understand so that we can make you understand better what we're doing, so it might be helpful to you if you decide you want to switch engines, what people seem to want to do these days, to go from a 283 Chevrolet 55 model engine to an LS engine, which would give you a lot more power and dependability than this older engine. So Lori.
I was going to say, I'm explained, there's a lot I don't know. So there'll be a lot of questions that I have.
Well, good. I'm glad that you do. So here's an engine that we've pulled out.
Okay.
This gentleman has a car that he is specifically bought for a trip across the United States on Route 66.
So cool. Kind of like the movie Cars. I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
Chicago to LA, right?
Yeah.
Whole way.
Well, maybe Dallas to LA.
Yeah.
But I think you and
I
should
go through the desert. It would be cool. You can go through the desert, end up in Santa Monica. Sounds like a good trip.
Yeah.
So this came from it. Is that right?
This is the one that
was
came out.
Was it orange because it's also an orange car, do you think? Or
that's, back then, that's a good question. Back in the day, all the engines had a specific color that the manufacturers painted, and this was a Chevrolet orange. They carried this engine color for a long time before they started doing a lot more black than they do orange.
Okay.
Ford was blue.
Okay.
And the Chryslers were teal.
Interesting. All right.
So now we're down here at the bottom. We have a transmission.
Okay, and this is their transmission from before.
That's correct.
Are we replacing that too?
We are.
Okay, it's replacing the engine and the transmission solely so that it has better horsepower. We don't need to rebuild it. Probably cheaper, I'm assuming.
Well, and this is not really something that you want to try to rebuild. It's really too old, and there's a lot of things about it that you can't
really. Kind of like a house with bad studs.
You can't update it to make it what you want it to be. And
gotcha.
So we want it, but the beauty of this engine that we're getting ready to show over here is that it has fuel injection and it's got more horsepower. And you got a brand new motor.
Oh, cool.
Building this
so that way it'll sustain all through Route 66.
Exactly. You can get a few races on the way going out through the
rev
desert.
it a few times. So you feel like Lightning McQueen. I like it.
So let's go over and look at what we're getting ready to do.
All right, let's go. All right, so what are we going to see now?
Well, we're going to look at the new power plant, an LS Chevrolet engine.
This is pretty.
Yeah, it is, but it's a little bit complicated to try to have something that's showy.
This looks a little bit more high-tech than the last one.
Yeah, for sure. It's got a lot more wires. That makes it worth more money, right?
Yeah, probably.
So this is a fuel-injected V8 Chevrolet engine that commonly referred to as a LS. This is what we're going to put in this car.
Okay.
And there is a transmission. Now, that transmission is an overdrive transmission. You know what that means?
No.
That means normally if you were shifting gears on a car early in the 50s, you'd shift 3 times.
Okay.
But now they've devised what they call overdrive. And, like on later model cars, they go shift 10 times.
Okay.
This one shifts 4, but the 4th gear gives a ratio that allows the engine RPMs to drop on the highway. Okay. That was a problem.
So is this an automatic or a standard?
That's an automatic.
Okay, so he doesn't have to worry about it. The computer will do all the shifting.
Exactly, and it's electronic. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All this is going to be operated electronically like a late model car.
Okay, because I was going to say electronic wasn't a classic car situation.
They're all carbureted. Exactly. Okay. So now, I know you're not going to do this, but Keanu over here is. He's going to adapt this motor to fit in that car.
Okay.
Now the problem was if we walk over here.
So is it gonna are we gonna adapt the motor or the bay?
We're gonna adapt the bay to fit the motor.
Okay, let's take a look at that then.
Okay,
I guess.
Let's take a look.
More questions. So the foil, is this kind of like a college situation? Like we're trying to keep the sunlight out of a room, or
on the room in your
why
dorm?
do we have foil?
Yeah. Well, we use tin foil, and this is a tip for you guys. We use tin foil rather than tape to insulate and protect things, and it's much quicker to remove. And I buy the baker's rolls that are like 500 feet long, and then we leave them up front for the guys to cook with, after we get through with it.
Does it need to be heavy tin foil or just tin foil in general?
We recycle it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
You put some dino nuggets on it for the kids in the morning? At least that's what we do at our house.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, now I know if I need foil, I'm coming here.
Yeah.
All right, so what are we going to do to adjust this? Because you were saying that this is
take a trip in there and show us what we're doing.
Teach me. Tell me new things. Oh, going in.
I do that, but I just, I normally used to.
It feels like he must do yoga because my hips would be hurting immediately if I run there.
He jumps quick.
You know where to step to because I feel like I would break something.
So starting out, if you can get a shot of this right here, this is where the original motor was mounted.
Okay, little pillars.
These two, pillars is a good way to put it. But that won't line up with where the other motor that we're putting in fits. Okay. So we bought a kit And if you get a shot of this one now, you can see right there, that is where right here
Are these
is,
like brackets they're gonna go in? Okay.
yeah, we call
So
them
it just like
engine
rests on
stands
it?
or
Okay.
supports for the engine. But basically,
Gotcha.
once they're welded in and we drop the motor down in there, then it should and that's the whole trick for today, is to try to get those tacked in well enough that when we come over here and drop the motor in, it'll fit just like a glove.
Okay, so I'm seeing on here that there's like some little openings to put a bolt in. Are we going to get a cutter in there to make the holes, or are we going to just like weld it in and make it attach? Like how are y'all going to fix that in there?
It's going to be welded completely. And so
Fancy.
anything that, you know, a lot of these are going to cover up holes that we don't need, but basically we're taking out the old stands, putting in the new stands, and dropping the motor in so we can see if it fits.
So how fast will this go on Route 66 once you're done?
Oh, way faster than you want to.
Yeah.
This motor's got a lot of horsepower. This car probably is, you know, designed for 55, 65, and this would easily run way, way over that. So
we'll have a good time.
we don't talk speed when we do this.
You're just wanting it to be safe.
Yeah, we want it.
That's pretty smart.
Mostly we want it to be reliable. You know, when it comes out of the motel somewhere
you don't want
in
to break
Phoenix,
down on
well,
it. Yeah, you don't want to break down in like Barstow or whatever it is.
The real trick here is that when we really want to do something funny, we just shut the hood and leave Keanu in here till lunch.
Oh, bless you.
And then we open it back up just to see what it'll do.
Poor guy.
So, yeah.
I'll make sure they don't do that to you. That'd be kind of cruel. But at least you have foil in case you got cold.
Right. So we're going to drop back later this afternoon or probably tomorrow just to show this engine as it's mounted.
I'm excited to see. Are we not going to paint it orange like the other one?
No,
No,
that's a
it's
good
just gonna stay nice
question.
and pretty?
They started black.
Okay.
So this is all black. And there's a dress-up kit for this that's going to make it look a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
So we won't do a lot of chrome, we'll do some black.
This will be pretty. I hope they send us pictures from their trip.
Now, you forgot to ask me about that.
Oh, well, I don't even know what this is. It looks like another blanket.
It is.
What
Although it's not one that you want to cover up with. It's a
it's
welding
very
blanket.
heavy, and there's holes in it.
Yep, he had it up here. This is a good, there's a couple kinds of these. This one is really nice because it doesn't have a lot of asbestos
So wait,
in
it's
it.
welding.
So it keeps the welding sparks from jumping onto the paint or causing issues. When you
Where
weld
do you
with,
get a welding blanket like this?
you get it on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
They're expensive because they're smoother and they don't leave you with the itch. The other
Yeah.
ones that we used to use, you felt like you run through.
So dumb question.
Okay.
I'm assuming, do you put it on you, like when you're getting like your teeth x-rayed, or do you put it
That's
like, you know how they put the lead on you, or do you put it on the car? What are you trying to protect?
Great question. Well, no, we just lay it over the car, so we don't get, it's all about sparks. So we'll also put something over the windshield, because I have
Yeah.
that jump on the glass.
Yeah, so it doesn't do it again.
But once
and
it
then,
gets this all placed, then
Yeah.
that's what we'll do, we'll cover
so it's
everything.
nice if you need like a weighted blanket for a napkin.
Yeah.
So, cool. All
Great.
right, well, I can't wait to see you. Good job. Have fun living in there.
Right, Barry Wilson, Wilson Auto Repair. Go to my website, wilsonauto.com, or subscribe to our YouTube channel.